Welcome. You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, bringing Hollywood home on a budget. I know for sure that nobody likes spending the first weekend of spring, let alone the first day of spring, being confined to their homes while they listen to all the birds chirp and watch the sun shine and all the flowers and trees blossom around them, as if in a taunting manner. But that's the way it is with this coronavirus chaos. But I would like to remind you again, life goes on, and eventually things will settle down a bit, and we can all go back to living our most green and Pinterest-worthy lives as possible. You have my word on that. So, eventually, you'll want to think of this highly unusual combination for a video review. But get this. Think of this as like an extremely big boutonniere. Way too big to fit onto somebody's suit. Think of this boutonniere as coming from your very own garden home, which will serve as a mind-blowing centerpiece for your tuxedo. Gentlemen, I'm talking to you. And I know, this is a Christmas week purchase for $1.69. It was originally purchased from Fortune Off, the Christmas store. But I don't know about your particular thrift store, and now would be a good time to check. But my thrift store, Unique, doesn't sell used corsages. And trying to obtain one from David Tutera from a Michael's Craft Store in New Jersey was nothing short of a disaster. At least for me. Anyway, let's get to the garden home aspect of all of this. In this two-for review, we begin with P. Allen Smith's garden home. And I assume you know P. Allen Smith. Well, I've watched several of his shows, Garden Home, which also takes the name of the eponymously titled book right here, or Garden Style, or Garden to Table. He is America's gardener, and he is awesome. This is his book, purchased for $7.99, Creating a Garden for Everyday Living. Photographer, Jane Conclaser. Retail prices, $29.95 US, $44.95 in Canada. In this groundbreaking book, popular television personality and renowned professional gardener P. Allen Smith presents readers with a fresh new concept, the garden home. This is the private sanctuary between a home's interior spaces and the great outdoors, with rooms for relaxing, bird watching, cooking, entertaining, and simply enjoying the pleasures of nature. Allen first walks his audience room by room through his own extraordinary garden home, explaining his choices in color, structure, and purpose. In the second section of the book, Allen introduces his 12 principles of design to guide readers in their own garden decisions. With the first 6 principles, enclosure, shape and form, framing the view, entry, focal point, and structures, he demonstrates how to establish the garden's basic framework. Then he offers ideas on how to apply the finishing touches with texture, pattern, and rhythm, color, abundance, whimsy, mystery, and time. Each of these principles have their own separate chapters, in which P. Allen Smith goes through each of them in great detail. Allen's passion and expertise will inspire readers to carry the personality of their interior spaces into the outdoors. With charts, plant lists, simple how-to projects, and more than 200 color photographs, once again courtesy of Jane Conclaser, P. Allen Smith's garden home extends an irresistible invitation to create your own garden home. Under these circumstances, I will share some tips for creating an indoor garden home. A couple of highlights in here. 1. A bird's eye illustration of his own garden home, with numbers labeling the certain components in his garden home. House, front garden, fountain garden, portiere, rondelle, vegetable garden, tool shed / chicken house, a loggia or loggia, garage, service yard, alley, shade garden, and hallway garden. This is the key to the plan, and again, everything's labeled in numbers, so you know which is which. Now, all of the 12 principles throughout this book also apply here in creating your garden home, in which P. Allen Smith offers practical advice and tips for taking these principles and adopting them to fit your own garden home, utilizing these principles to create something real special. Lots of helpful charts in here too. All this makes for a thorough, indispensable book on gardening, which I know, given the circumstances, isn't really particularly appropriate, but listen, life goes on. And once things eventually settle down a bit, we can all go back to living our best green lives as possible. Plus, you pick a corsage or a boutonniere out of your own garden home, inspired by P. Allen Smith, and that is going to be a Pinterest-worthy social media post. Let's take a look at the back here. If the Garden of Eden is the eternal metaphor for paradise on earth, then creating a slice of Eden around our homes is a sure way to connect with the deep forces of nature and the even deeper energies within ourselves. In paradise, there is no distinction between inside and out. For this reason, and many others that I'm sure you'll discover along the way, I invite you to create your own garden home. Hopefully you've done so already so that you can enjoy it and appreciate it even more before all of this chaos began. One last feature that's so cool about this particular copy, it was autographed by P. Allen Smith himself. This was originally for a woman named Judy. With best wishes, happy gardening, P. Allen Smith. One downside? Well, the condition. As you can see here, the bottom of the back cover is torn a bit. But still, that has nothing to take away from the fact that this is a really nice gardening book, and one that I award, because of the condition and the defect, 4.5 out of 5 claps. And again, a corsage and boutonniere from your own garden home, or maybe you can buy one from P. Allen Smith if he does those things. I don't know about you, but likes are bound in that particular case. And on that note, we move on to Anderson's Prom Catalog for Spring 2020. Tonight's the night. Do prom right. Shop the newest prom themes, favors, royalty, and decor. We've done Anderson's Prom Catalog last year, and so this year will be no different. And it's pretty much the same as last year's. This also has a giveaway for your own dream prom. Win up to $10,000 in prom supplies. Anderson's, by the way, has their own YouTube channel, just like P. Allen Smith. Yeah, you didn't know that P. Allen Smith had a YouTube channel, did you? And I highly recommend you subscribe to him. I will, of course, leave his channel in the description below. So too will Anderson's channel be linked in the description below. I am going to show you 2 of 3 prom themes via video through Anderson's that I think would make for some stunning prom memories. A couple of honorable mentions though. First up, A Star is Born. Now, as is the case with all prom themes in this book, the individual components for this prom theme are labeled by letter and are listed on the bottom with brief summaries and individual pricing for each of the components. This is definitely not bringing prom home on a budget, but you gotta pay to play, right? This entire theme, with all the components together, costs $1,700. But if you want your prom to be associated with the Academy Award-winning film of the same name, this is a prom theme to consider. Plus, bonus points if you try to sneak in a Lady Gaga soundtrack, preferably the Academy Award-winning Shallow, which made Mother Monster an Oscar winner. Am I a little monster? No, but for you little monsters out there, that's something to consider. Now, another honorable mention, the Enchanted Garden. And again, everything, all the individual components are labeled by letter, so you know which one is which. They also offer individual pricing if you want to buy them separately, if you don't want to buy the whole kit. And if you don't want to buy a kit for a large venue, you can buy mini kits from this catalog, more suitable for smaller venues. There's also materials and construction supplies in this book which you can purchase for you to assemble all the prom themes in here. This Enchanted Garden costs total $4,349.99. There are plenty of garden themes in here, which definitely tie into the Garden Home book. There's also a lot of exotic themes, from Paris to Arabia. We also have retro themes from the Roaring 20s to the fabulous 50s to the disco era to the 90s era. There's plenty of under the sea themes, all sorts of really cool themes. Themes related to pop culture, themes related to travel, themes related to nostalgia. It's just like Anderson's prom book from 2019, which I reviewed along with another prom book. Not like this, but something that's particularly cool and offers a lot of celeb inspiration. I will leave last year's prom-related video below for you to check out. It will also be the end card of this video, so stay tuned to the very end. Now, for two of my favorite themes. One would be the golden age of Hollywood. Have a look at that. In total, this will run you about $3,263.99. But with a prom theme like that, with an ambience like that, would you think it's worth it? We also have a Hollywood party theme. Not as many components as the two other themes I previously mentioned, actually 3 other themes I previously mentioned, and less expensive, $2,019.99, but this has an equal amount of impact. And then we have the components for your Hollywood-themed prom night, because we bring Hollywood home on a budget. Hello, how could we not include this? Hollywood scenes. So here we have a mock Hollywood sign, a magic letters kit for $389.99, a carnival lighted star kit, a Hollywood clapboard kit. We have a film strip with movie camera, a Hollywood arch. We have holographic Hollywood film strips. We have a lit silver star kit, and we have fancy Hollywood film strips. On top of so many other components for your smashing Hollywood-esque prom night. As for the golden age of Hollywood and Hollywood party, well, Anderson has videos for those, so check it out. With those videos, you might want to keep this on hand too. Don't shelve either of these for the indefinite future. Things will eventually settle down a little bit, and you can all go back to planning the most important social event of your lives. It's certainly not the most socially important event of my life. I don't really go for prom that much. But just because I don't like prom doesn't mean I have the right to discourage you from going to your prom. Besides, it's not me that's discouraging you anyway. It's this goddamn coronavirus. This, by the way, belongs to the Student Council at International High School, my school in Paterson, New Jersey. But school secretary allowed to tell us let me keep this particular one because I gave her a shout out last year when she let me keep Anderson's prom catalog for 2019, so once again, she earns a shout out for letting me keep this. I appreciate it. Again, just like Anderson's prom catalog, for 2019, the condition in here is disappointing. As you can see, it's bent and all scratched up, and some pages inside, like the immediate first page, look no better. So I give this a 4 out of 5. In total, 8.5 out of 10. As I said, life goes on. And eventually, once everything settles down, you will have a Pinterest-worthy boutonniere or corsage from your own garden home, which will serve as the centerpiece for your buzzworthy prom night. Courtesy of P. Allen Smith and Anderson's. And of course, the Thrift Store Rundown, the only YouTube channel that would even think of doing a combination like this to help you with your prom night. And speaking of flowers, I hate to end on a discouraging note, but listen to this, and I know it's going to sound absolutely ridiculous. But you know, about April 2nd, I was supposed to meet last year's bachelor, Colton Underwood, for the signing of his book the first time. I had originally envisioned in my mind me turning the tables on Colton and me buying a rose and asking him to accept my rose. It would have made a fun picture. Guess what? Now he's got the coronavirus. Ain't this about a bachelor's button? Which, by the way, is the name of a type of cornflower. Bachelor's button. Colton, stay strong, man. You got this. Everybody who's been affected by the coronavirus, stay strong. We're all in this together. We're all gonna get through this. In the meantime, I hope you dream of darling daffodils and dazzling dames. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side.